Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. The world of Welcome to Plathville has always been rooted in raw emotion, faith, and family bonds, but fans were unprepared for the depth of sorrow Lydia Plath recently revealed. Known for her gentle spirit, unwavering faith, and soft-spoken strength, Lydia stepped forward with heartbreaking news that left viewers and supporters stunned. For the first time, she opened up about the painful loss of a loved one and the quiet grief she has carried behind her familiar smile. Lydia's voice trembled as she shared the story, not seeking sympathy, but hoping her truth might help others navigating loss. Grief, she said, doesn't always look like tears in public. Sometimes it's silent, hidden behind worship songs and prayers whispered in the dark. Those words alone revealed how deeply this loss had reshaped her world. The loved one Lydia lost was someone who had been a constant presence in her life, someone whose guidance, love, and support had helped shape the woman fans see today. While Lydia chose to keep certain details private, she described the bond as one built on trust, shared faith, and countless small moments that now feel painfully precious. It wasn't just one big memory, she explained. It was 1,000 little ones, conversations, laughter, prayers that I never realized I'd miss this much. According to Lydia, the death came suddenly, leaving no time for preparation or goodbyes. One moment, life felt familiar, routine, safe. The next, everything changed. She recalled the shock vividly, the phone call that made her heart drop, the silence that followed, and the feeling that time itself had stopped. She remembered thinking, "This can't be real," she said. "I kept waiting to wake up." In the days that followed, Lydia leaned heavily on her faith, but she admits that even belief didn't shield her from pain. "I prayed constantly," she shared, "but there were moments I didn't have words, just tears." For someone known for her strong spiritual grounding, admitting that doubt and sorrow crept in was not easy, yet Lydia felt it was important to be honest. "Faith doesn't mean you don't hurt," she said softly. "It means you hurt and still choose to hope." Fans of Plathville have watched Lydia grow up on screen, often portrayed as the emotional anchor of the family, the peacemaker, the worshiper, the one who finds light even in darkness. But behind the scenes, she was quietly navigating one of the most devastating experiences of her life. She described nights spent awake, replaying memories, wondering what she could have said or done differently. "Grief has a way of making you question everything," she admitted. One of the hardest parts, Lydia revealed, was learning how to move forward when the world expected normalcy. Life didn't pause because her heart was broken. Responsibilities remained. Smiles were expected. "There's a strange loneliness in grief," she said. "People don't always know what to say, so they say nothing, and you learn how to carry the weight alone." Still, Lydia found unexpected comfort in small acts of kindness, messages from fans, quiet moments with family, and music. She shared that worship songs became both a refuge and a release, allowing her to express emotions she couldn't put into words. "Sometimes singing was the only way I could breathe," she said. Over time, Lydia began to understand that healing didn't mean forgetting. The pain didn't vanish, but it softened. The sharp edges dulled. "I realized I don't have to get over it," she explained. "I just have to learn how to live with it." That perspective marked a turning point in her journey, a shift from surviving to slowly, gently living again. By sharing her story, Lydia hopes others facing loss will feel less alone. She emphasized that grief has no timeline and no single right way to experience it. If you're hurting, that's okay. If you're angry, confused, or numb, that's okay too. Her message was clear. Pain doesn't make you weak, and vulnerability is not something to be ashamed of. The response from fans was immediate and overwhelming. Social media flooded with messages of love, prayers, and gratitude. Many thanked Lydia for her honesty, saying her words gave voice to emotions they'd struggled to express themselves. In opening up, Lydia didn't just share her pain, she created a space for collective healing. Today, Lydia continues to honor her loved one's memory in quiet, meaningful ways. She speaks of carrying them forward through acts of kindness, moments of gratitude, and a deeper appreciation for life's fragility. love doesn't end, it just changes form. Lydia Plath's story is a reminder that even those who appear strong and serene carry hidden battles. Her courage to speak about loss without polish or pretense has only deepened the connection fans feel towards her. In her heartbreak, Lydia has offered something powerful: truth, compassion, and the reassurance that even in the darkest moments, we are never
Lydia
truly
Plath
alone.
continued to open her heart, it became clear that her grief was not a single moment of devastation, but a long, winding journey filled with questions, quiet strength, and unexpected transformation. Loss, she explained, doesn't arrive loudly for everyone. Sometimes it slips in softly, settling into the corners of everyday life, noticed only when something feels painfully missing. In the weeks following the loss, Lydia found herself revisiting ordinary places that suddenly felt sacred. A familiar chair, a favorite song, a simple phrase once spoken casually that now echoed in her mind. "It's strange how something small can undo you," she shared. "You don't expect it. One moment you're fine, and the next you're remembering a laugh or a look, and your chest tightens." What hurt most, Lydia admitted, was the finality, knowing there would be no more new memories, no more conversations, no more opportunities to say the things left unsaid. "You always think you have time," she said. "Time to talk, time to fix things, time to love louder." Losing someone teaches you how fragile time really is. Despite the pain, Lydia made a conscious decision not to close herself off emotionally. She described moments when grief tempted her to withdraw completely to protect herself from further hurt, but something within her resisted that instinct. "If I shut down," she said, "I felt like I'd be letting loss take even more than it already had." Instead, she leaned into vulnerability. She cried openly with family. She allowed herself to feel joy without guilt. She learned that laughter did not betray grief. It coexisted with it. "Some days I smiled and immediately felt guilty," Lydia confessed. "But I realized joy doesn't mean you've forgotten. It means you're still alive." Her family played a crucial role in her healing. Though the Plath family has faced its own public struggles, Lydia emphasized how deeply grateful she was for moments of togetherness during such a painful season. "We didn't always have the right words," she said. "Sometimes we just sat together in silence, and that was enough." Faith remained a central thread in Lydia's journey, though it evolved in unexpected ways. She spoke honestly about moments when prayer felt heavy, when worship felt difficult, and when doubt quietly crept in. "I learned that faith doesn't mean having all the answers," she said. "Sometimes it's just choosing to trust when nothing makes sense." One of the most profound changes Lydia noticed was how loss reshaped her understanding of purpose. The things that once felt urgent, expectations, pressure, perfection, suddenly seemed less important. Grief strips life down to what truly matters: love, kindness, presence. Everything else feels secondary. She also became more aware of others carrying unseen pain. Lydia admitted that before her loss, she never fully grasped how many people walk around broken while appearing fine on the surface. You don't know what someone is going through. A smile can hide 1,000 wounds. This realization inspired her to approach people with more patience, compassion, and grace. Sharing her story publicly was not an easy decision. Lydia worried about being misunderstood, judged, or pitied, but ultimately she felt called to speak. "If my pain can help someone feel less alone, then it's worth it," she said. Her honesty struck a deep chord with fans, many of whom shared their own stories of loss in response. Messages poured in from people across the world: parents who had lost children, siblings mourning brothers or sisters, friends grieving quietly without support. Lydia read them slowly, carefully, often through tears. "I didn't expect my story to connect like that," she admitted, "but it reminded me how universal grief is." Over time, Lydia learned that healing is not linear. Some days felt hopeful and light-filled, others felt heavy, as though the wound had reopened. She stopped trying to measure her progress, she said. There's no finish line in grief, you just keep going. She also spoke about honoring her loved one's memory in intentional ways, through acts of service, meaningful conversations, and choosing love even when it felt difficult. I want their life to continue making a difference, she explained, not through sadness, but through purpose. Today, Lydia stands changed, but not defeated. She carries grief with her, but it no longer defines her. It has softened her, deepened her, and given her a clearer vision of what it means to live authentically. Loss broke my heart, but it also opened it wider. Her message to anyone hurting was simple yet powerful. You are not weak for grieving. You are human. She encouraged people to allow themselves time, space, and honesty. Don't rush healing, Lydia said, and don't feel like you have to carry it alone. In sharing her heartbreak, Lydia Plath has offered something rare and meaningful: truth without filters, faith without pretense, and hope born from pain. Her story is not just about loss, it's about resilience, love that endures beyond death, and the quiet courage it takes to keep going when life forever changes.